Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Have you ever wondered what games you should sell or you should use? Find out here at Purge Reviews. Find out on our top 10 list what games you cannot miss. Don't forget to subscribe to Purge Reviews.
Mare Balticum is a very light, kind of family-style, cutesy game of bringing your ships out, getting goods, and bringing them back to port. And it's interesting because you don't actually move your ship. It becomes like a ladder almost. So you put another one, and now you're two, and another one, and it becomes three. This chain of ships. You can either think of it as a chain of ships, or you can think about it moving kind of in slow motion, and here's how it's moving. It's very, very simple. There's not a whole lot to this game. I think this is going to be a family-like game. I can't imagine a bunch of gamers sitting around playing it. It's more something you're going to play lightly with your children or a family-style game. It could be a gateway game. I think people could play this who have never played games before. It's very easy to pick up. There are some optional rules in it that, try to make it more strategic, perhaps, but you can totally leave those out or include those. They're very, very simple. Overall, I like the game okay. It's very simplistic. I think it lives on its art a lot. It has this like claymation art to it that looks really, really neat and very unique in this industry. But I think it hinges on that a little bit more than it should. It's okay. I'm going to go ahead and purge this one. I don't really feel a need for it. If my kids are a little bit older and liked it, that's really my struggle with the keeping is like, should I keep it around for when the kids are a little older? It can kind of gateway them into something else. At the end of the day, I think there's a lot of games like that. And this one might be highly sought after. I don't know. But for me, it was just a little bit too simplistic and a little bit too easy. The decisions, you know which port you have to go to. It's just a matter of getting that chain kind of linked up. Not a whole lot here. What is interesting is figuring out how to score. So at certain times in the game, when a clock is drawn, you're going to be putting your multipliers out on the one of the four different type of ships. And you have like a 0, 1, 2, and 3. So one of your fish isn't going to score at all. So the ones that you're kind of specializing in are able to get a lot of. You want to put your 3 multiplier on it. That can be kind of tricky because you don't have full information when you're doing it, and that's the point, right? But it leads to just some weird things. If something else comes out of the bag, it's okay. Overall, I feel like it's a fine game. It works. It's just on the lighter variety. For me, it's going to be a Purge. Here are the components for Mare Balticum. And you can see from the box, it's very unique that it has like this claymation almost kind of look to it. Very simplistic looking, but very cool. And that artwork is going to be seen throughout the game, and it's really, really neat. So the box is going to open up. You will get instructions in a language that I can't read, amongst other languages. You do have some great pictures inside, and the rule book is actually fairly concise and very, very good. You're going to get a number of player boards where you'll be keeping your stuff. These will have the color differentiations on them, and they're pretty thick, not too bad. There's enough to play for 5 players. Set that aside. You're going to get a drawstring. It's kind of that nylon kind of feel to it. I can almost put my hand all the way in there. And you will have a number of these tiles and chips on them of goodies that you'll be going out and getting. You're going to get a number of these tiles that you will have. These are very, very hard, and the characters all look very different. That little, real cute artwork that's placed on it. Let me show you what a character will get. So here's what the players will get. You will get these ships, very chunky wooden pieces. And you will get these little tiles that will be assigned to it. And these are pretty thick and very, very nice and double-sided with little mine, mine, mine on it. You get enough for each of the characters. And that's pretty much how it is made up. So let me show you what the board looks like. And this is the world you will be playing in. And moving around And you got Stockholm, Copenhagen, Dansk, Riga, St. Petersburg. Very colorful, very nice. It's very easy to see where things meet up and match on the little spaces, yet they made it very colorful. So the components are very, very good. I love the artwork in this game. Everything comes together nicely as components are. The rules are very, very simple. There isn't a whole lot to this game. You have 3 possible actions. You move your ship, which is placing a ship on the board or moving it around. You got picking up the fish or delivering them port. So it's very, very simple. I think most people can play this. This could be definitely a gateway game for you, or play with non-gamers. They'll have no problem with this one. So when the game is set up, you'll be placing one of your ships in the port. There's a few of these on the board. In the dark blue, the deep waters, you'll put 2 of these. And in the shallow waters, which are the lighter blue, you'll put 1. And in each port, you're going to put these demand tokens that you'll see. And that's what that port will have in demand. So on your turn, you can take up to 3 actions. So your first action might be just to sail and put another ship out. So you have 5 ships, and you'll be building like a connection of these. And then when all of them out, you can then move this one here, let's say, and you move. And then you take the last one out, and they can move through. So that's sailing. The second thing you can do on your turn, which is one of the actions, is if your ship is somewhere, you can pick up one of these fish, which will then be placed on your player board up here at the top. And you can hold up to 5 of these. If you get amber, which is this one, it can be just placed in one of the dispensaries. And the third possible action you have is that if you have this ship matching a port, and you happen to have the way back, you can unload as many of that type of ship as you want. And then you would put it down here at the bottom for scoring purposes. So those are the 3 possible actions you have. Sail, moving your ships. 2, loading one into your little ship or warehouse, if you will. Let's call it a ship. And the third action would be unloading them if you have connection back to a port, if it matches the demand token. If at any time you draw one of these from the bag, which is a timer, we will pause the game and do the timer. At that point, the players have a decision to make. And they're going to be placing one of these tokens out onto the board, thus telling you how much that's going to be worth. So, like, these will be worth times 1 if I placed it there. And these would be worth times 2 if I had placed that one 3, and times 3. And every time the game kind of goes through this passage of time, you have to place one of these and kind of tell you where you're going to score. Okay, and how much these are going to be worth to you, the different types of fish. You'll be specializing as the game goes on. So those passages of time tokens will be the timer to the game, and the game will end at that point. There is an optional role to play called demand management, where you don't start out with any tokens here, and the first person to deliver there then decides what token goes onto that one, and they can hold up to 2 at some points. The second way is to use these commercial contracts that you will be also trying to fulfill as you play the game. That's an optional rule number 2. I like this one quite a bit. I like to play it and try to fulfill these to get more victory points. Who should buy this? I'm probably going to leave this for like light families. You know, you have younger kids, you're wanting to kind of progress them a little bit, get them into something. The artwork is going to come alive for them, I think. It's got the little shipping themes, very easy. Kids like to go fishing, perhaps. That might play into it. It's very, very, very simple. And I think that, I don't want to say, it's not a children's game, but it's a light family game. So people who are wanting to get their kids in the game a little bit more and want to step up the mechanisms a little bit, this may fit that niche. But for me, I'm going to purge this one.